Hello everyone, welcome to Donnie doing Donnie things. This channel is a little bit more about just different projects, different things, all kinds of weird crap that I find myself involved in. Kind of take you along for a ride. We do have another channel, Man Cave Garage. It's at Man Cave Garage 1970 here on YouTube. I'll put a link somewhere in here for you. But here's an interesting little thing that I've been working on. At my job, we have been working on, or I have been working on, a way to track our inventory. We don't sell products or whatever. We use these items for field repairs at the facility I work at. And we have, a bulk of inventory, inside of our building that our field workers will come in, they'll check out, they'll restock their equipment, they'll go back out in the field, and they'll do repairs. And I wanted to create it in an app. So after doing some research, I found out that, hey, Microsoft Lists really would be the way to do this because it's kind of like a database. So we should be able to track the data more efficiently, build some models to forecast usage, keep track of prices, because the stuff changes every day, so I want it to kind of average out what we're spending on these items and that kind of stuff. Again, like I said, it seemed like Microsoft List was the way to go. I have no experience with Microsoft List. In the process of doing this, I decided let's give AI a try at this. I have been using it for some other little projects, some documentation stuff that I've worked on at home, presentation stuff that I've done for school, that kind of stuff. And it's worked really well. So I had been using ChatGPT. ChatGPT has worked really well, but I have found that when it comes to actual, to building apps and working with that kind of stuff, doesn't seem to be quite there. It likes to make you think that it knows what it's talking about when I'd rather for it to say sometimes, yeah, I don't know. That would be better. I said, well, let's give Gemini a try on this project. And so far it's been working great. But I've run into one little snag, and that's what I'm going to take you through today. And it's funny. I mean, I'm doing this at home. I'm not doing it on my work time, because this is a project I kind of wanted to do to teach myself Microsoft Lists. And for myself, I find that just diving into something and trying it is my best way of learning how to use some of this software. So that is what I'm attempting to do with this. So this is what I've run into. Let me see if I can get you to the next screen here. Okay, what I've done for starters is I have created an inventory list, and there's an actual item list on here that brings up all the information about the parts and part numbers, and I don't have cost or anything in here associated with it yet. That will come. Next thing I did was I created a dashboard view, and in my dashboard view, this makes it really simple when I come in to look at this and say, okay, what do I need to order? I'm low on these, so I need to order these. Shows me how many I have on hand, what the actual part number is, the description, all that kind of stuff, on my different items I have in my inventory. So this works really well. There will be a form associated with this eventually that will allow, from the desktop standpoint, to place orders, hopefully generate like a purchase order type deal and that kind of stuff. So I'm still working on all that. Right now, for the basics, this is looking pretty good. So what we are doing is I wanted to generate an app to make this work. So I was like, Gemini, how do we do this? So we built this whole thing, and then it wants to come over to integrate. Then we'll go to Power Apps and we'll create an app. It will automatically generate a 3-page app that has the information associated with the list that you have it tied to. Now I had to tie 2 separate lists to it. So my second list is this one. Now what this list does, this list actually has the items that we're going to be removing. And It has different fields in here for, different reasons why and who removed what, and it will automatically enter this. You do not have to put in a username. It's there, automatically does the time. You don't have to select date, time, any of that junk. The only thing you're going to have to do is enter the amount and the item. So here's where the funny part comes in. So we go to ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, look, this is what we want to do. I give it all the information. It tells me okay, this is where we want to go. This is how we want to handle it. And we start, we generate the app. Okay. All right, we're in our Power App Studio. So here's where this issue came into play. So what it did was, we created the 3-page app. And then in the studio, it does go through a bunch of steps to remove, features that you don't want and that kind of stuff, because I really wanted just a simple screen for doing the transactions, which is this. But one thing I wanted it to do was on the main browser screen, I wanted it to just automatically go to the removal page. So this way, my employees can see the item, the actual item, instead of I don't remember what part this is. And they can click on that little arrow and it'll take them to the removal screen. And when it goes to the actual removal screen, it will show a picture of the item again to make sure. And then the quantity. Now, some of this other stuff is hidden in here. So it will transfer this data back to my table that I want it to do. But they don't need to see all that stuff. All they need to see is, hey, I want to take out a ball valve, and that's it. It was funny. To me, it was funny. So what happened was, again, in ChatGPT, it's telling me, okay, to go to the gallery, click the next arrow. So you want to come over here. We're in this screen here. You can click next arrow, or you can actually click on the arrow. And it wants me to enter some information here. And the information that it's telling me that I need to enter in this section, it says maps, detail screen 1 is probably what's there, but we want to go to maps transaction screen. What it's trying to do is point that arrow to the screen that we want it to go to. It keeps saying maps, and to make a long story probably even longer, is I've gone through and I put in maps and it doesn't work. Maps gives me an error. You can't really see it on here, but there's some red squiggly lines, and then there's an error. And then if I come down further, this is the actual error that it's giving me. Maps is an unknown or unsupported function. And it just keeps going back and saying enter maps. What it was actually trying to tell me to do was enter navigate. But it could not say navigate in one word. It had to put these hyphens in, or dashes. It had to put dashes in for it to spell out navigate. But it couldn't do it just in one word. It just would always revert back to maps. Every single time. We had a long conversation about this, and my part was I was trying to get it to learn that it was using the word maps instead of the word navigate. It finally realized that, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. But it could not stop doing it. And it even would say, yep, I've looked at it. I've done it right. This is the way it is. So on the back side, the system is reading maps as navigate. That was absolutely hilarious. And, I could do a transcript of this thing, and you would just find it hilarious. Because every time it would say, nope, you typed in maps instead of maps. Yeah, exactly. I typed in maps instead of maps. So, anyhow, Jim and I could not say navigate. You have to watch out for these things. These things are crucial. They will throw some monkey wrenches in your projects. So finally, I just said, hey, look, I've got it to work. Let's move on past that. And we just kept right on rolling. And stuff ended up working out well. And I'll show you what we ended up with. So this is what our field user will see. And let's say they want to use a barbed union. They'll click on this arrow. Okay, how many barbed unions are they taking out of inventory? Oh, they're taking 10 of them out. Submit removal. Goes right back to the main screen again, which is what I want it to do. Okay, yep. We need to take some regulators. We need to take some regulators out. How many regulators we want to take out? Well, we're going to take out 15 of these because we're probably going to use a lot today. And that information, it'll just keep right on doing that. And the whole time, which is what I want it to do. So that way it's really simple for them to enter this information in. I am going to go back and clean up the way this looks and see if I can make it a little more presentable. I may increase the size of these icons and play around with some of this stuff. And again, my whole purpose for building this is helping me learn how to use Microsoft List and use it as a database. And that's one of the really, really strong functions of Microsoft List, is that you can use it as a database. So anyhow, that was just my little fun moment of working with this stuff. I do have quite a bit more here to do. And if you're interested, drop me some comments, like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in seeing the finished product, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to share with you what I can. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more content like this, I'll be more than happy to do it. There will be some more stuff coming with integrating AI with some other things, because I do have some projects coming down the line that I am going to present on this channel that involve Arduinos and that kind of stuff. And those projects are a little complicated. They do take a little bit of time to build. They may be a little bit more spread out, but I do have some other content I'm going to try to put in for fillers here and there. If you're interested in just seeing like progressions of the project as I move along, let me know. I mean, I have no idea for sure what you guys want to see on this channel. I just wanted a separate channel to put stuff in that wasn't necessarily directly automotive related or, garage related type stuff. I do want to try to keep the car repairs and fabrication side separate, even though some of this stuff is fabrication, but it's more equipment related stuff. Plus I got some house repairs and remodeling stuff and that kind of mess I'm going to put on here. So anyhow, let me know what you want to see, what you would like to see. And I'll work on getting some more stuff up. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed and keep checking us out.